Presenting a pamphlet without beginning. This is the title page to the 1594 quarto of the long poem Lucrece, which was the second heir of William Shakespeare's invention. This is the dedication. To the Right Honourable Henry Roseley, Earl of Southampton and Baron of Titchfield, the love I dedicate to your lordship is without end, whereof this pamphlet without beginning is but of superfluous moiety. The warrant I have of your honourable disposition, not the worth of my untutored lines, makes it assured of acceptance. What I have done is yours, what I have to do is yours, being part in all I have devoted yours. Were my worth greater, my duty would show greater. Meantime, as it is bound to your lordship, to whom I wish long life still lengthened with all happiness. Your lordship's in all duty, William Shakespeare. We're going to take a look at this dedication using the 23-letter Latin alphabet gematria values and the Latin alphabet repeating count. We're going to look at the structure first. On the surface, this doesn't look too much different than any other dedications, but I noticed something immediately when I saw the decorative T. There is an upside or heart hidden within the T, that's right side up, and another one that seems to be hidden that is upside down. Together they create an almost rude approximation of two hearts entwined. I also looked at the strange shapes in the middle of the decorative T. Are these two things keyholes? And are these shapes to either side of them keys to the page? Notice that the key shape on the left-hand side is in shade. The one on the right-hand side is in light. It's probably another indication that Rosicrucians have had a hand in creating this book. Notice that the shapes somehow fit the holes in the keys. People will ask, how do we know that there are clues to count stuff in this dedication? It's quite simple, really. First, the word superfluous hints that there are extras on the page, things that may be hidden beneath the surface of the words. I have appears 1, 2, 3, 4 times in an example of the rhetorical figure of accumulatio. There are 2 forms of the word do in an example of polyptyton. They're on the same line, done and to do. In this line is an example of anadiplosis. It is followed by the same phrase again. It is. The last line has a beautiful example of consonants. Long life still lengthened. Every word has the sound of the letter L. Now that we've established we need to count things, let's start by counting the simplest thing. From the top of the dedication to the bottom of the paragraph, we have 17 lines. The uppercase T is 17 letters wide, making it the second example of the 17 tally. We're going to count how many times we can get something associated with the number in this dedication. Next, we count the words. In the paragraph and the sign-off, excluding the name, there are 98 words. 9 plus 8 is 17, which gives us a third item for our 17 tally. If we count the characters in the header, the top address, we see that there are 80 characters. The 40th character is the uppercase E in Earl. There's also a hidden puzzle in this dedication. We take this line, part in all I have, comma, devoted yours, period, were my worth. We count from the comma 17 characters and spaces to the first uppercase V in were. Why 17? Because that is how many lines are in the dedication itself. Plus the 17th uppercase letter in the dedication's paragraph is the letter V. The charade is in this box of 17 letters and 3 words. Devoted yours were. It's really too easy to spot. D-E-V-E-R-E. This might be an additional clue. Ere my worth means before my worth, as in double V before my worth. What that means, I have no idea at the moment. It's also a 1740 allusion. We have the 17th uppercase letter, and alongside the letter beside it, the uppercase V, we have a combined gematria value of 40. Furthermore, it's in a line that has 40 characters on line 14. Why is that important? Because in gematria, the letter O has the value of the number 14. Now we're going to do a gematria sum involving the uppercase decorative letter. We're going to add up all the values of the gematria of the uppercase letters attached to the uppercase T, including the uppercase E because it is also attached to the uppercase H in the. They all have a gematria value of 66. In the Latin alphabet repeating count, we have seen over and over again that 66 has the gematria letter value of VVV. Now we're going to do some large gematria sums. The address has a gematria value of 396. The dedication itself has a gematria value of all uppercase letters of 253. And the sign off in the name has a gematria value of 91. We add these all up to get 740. That's not a normal number that we see, is it? But when we subtract the total number of uppercase letters to the end of the name from the very top of the page, we get 683. This is a digit sum number with a sum of 17. 6 plus 8 is 14, plus 3 is 17. This gives us our 5th item in our 17 tally. There are also 8 V's in this document. 8 times 5 equals 40. There are 17 letters after the double V or W in William. This probably makes this a 1740 allusion. Let's look at the name a little closer. The uppercase W has a gematria sum of 40, followed by 17 letters. This is our seventh item for the 17th tally, and it is another 1740 allusion. Let's look at the uppercase W because it's a strange one. Notice that there are two different sizes in the V's in the W. This tells me that this is a type of ligature that is important. It's a type 2A ligature. Now let's look at the words. First, we'll look at some legal terminology. Moiety. Moiety means a portion of something. In the case of a legal term, in terms of legal documents, a moiety is a portion of somebody's inheritance. A warrant is an obligatory duty for a member of the executive branch of the legislature to do something, as in warrant for somebody's arrest. Disposition. In legal terms, a disposition is the status or where a case is in terms of time. What's the disposition of the case? Is it in a pretrial hearing? Has it gone to trial? Or is it in post-trial sentencing? Assured of acceptance is a legal term in which a contractor is assured that the person he is contracting with will accept the terms of the agreement. We also have the word duty right above the word bound, and we always say somebody is duty bound to do something. And finally, duty is also in the end of the sign-off. That gives us 7 legal terms which are so carefully used and so offhandedly, seemingly offhandedly used, you have to assume that the man who wrote it had extensive legal training. But what does this phrase without end mean? And without beginning. The love he has to the Southampton is without end. The pamphlet is without beginning. Without end and without beginning, is this an allusion to God? And in turn, is this an allusion to a biblical verse which says that God is love? Because the love is without end, the pamphlet is without beginning. This means to me that he is alluding to that very biblical verse. Being part in all I have, is this an indication that Southampton was either part of his family or about to be part of his family? That's a good question. Being part in all I have may mean the real writer's family. Now I'm going to show you a change of status. In the 1593 quarto, Venus and Adonis, Southampton is addressed as honorable. So he goes from honorable to a lord in lordship within the space of 1 year. Lucrece was published in 1594. So, what happened? You have to know something of Southampton's personal history in order to understand what's going on here. In 1593, Southampton had not yet attained his majority, so he would not have been addressed as Lord. He would have been addressed as Honourable, or Henry, or Master Roseley. But in 1594, Southampton had attained his majority. so calling him lordship is absolutely appropriate. The question is, would a commoner have known of this change of status? Remember, no newspapers, no internet. Rosalie was not part of any public functions to that point. He was always a member of the court. He was always a minor member of the court. And in 1594, when he attained his majority, would a commoner have known about that? It's unlikely, unless the commoner himself was a servant of the lord in question, or a servant of somebody who knew of Rosalie's succession to the earldom. So we have 17, 40, double V, the seemingly offhanded use of legal terms, very, very easily done, and familiarity with the status of Henry Rosalie, the Earl of Southampton. I contend that these double V's, this strange, odd type 2A ligature in William Shakespeare, alludes to the real author's family motto, Vero nihil varius. This also all tells me that this man who went by the name of William Shakespeare was not a commoner, but a nobleman. What the dedication is secretly telling us through the 17 tally of 7 items, easily found out, plus the double V, plus the charade in line 14, that Edward de Vere, the 17th Earl of Oxford, was Shakespeare. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.